Death Valley National Park. That's where we'll be headed on this trip. We took a 325-mile drive all the way up to 395 and defer all the way to Death Valley to see the bottom of what's been known as a once ancient sea. So we'll check out the salt flats, Badwater basin, and a lot of other locations. With 24 hours before we head up to Long Pine for the rest of our trip, I'm going to show you 7 quick spots you can see entering Death Valley in less than 24 hours. Check it out. Coming in at number 7 on this list is the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes. Once you enter the park and pay for your pass, this is going to be one of the first locations you see, and it's a quick stop. Just visualize it as like a beach without any water. It's very fun for the kids, miles and miles of sand, and almost feels like you're in the Middle East, but you're still in California. So that's why this is number 7 on this list. Coming in at number 6 is the Furnace Creek Visiting Center, where it has the popular thermometer in the front with some of the record-breaking temperatures in the past. Also a good place to get maps. They have a library for books on the park, and it has a Junior Rangers program where your kids can get a certificate stamped.
To respect nature, honor history, and share my adventures with friends and family. Great job!
Coming in at number 5 is the Devil's Golf Course. Now you're going to have to go off-road for about half a mile before you get there. You'll see some crystallized salt. It's very hard rock, jaggedy edge. You got to be very careful, but it is pretty fun. There's miles and miles of this stuff. You can kind of hop, skip on it, and just balance yourself, walk, play. We even collected a couple of pieces of salt rock. Very cool, very interesting to see, and that's why Devil's Golf Course is number 5 on this list. Coming in at number 4 is Zabriskie Point. Now the cool thing about Zabriskie Point, it's only about a 10-minute walk, I would say a quarter of a mile. So it doesn't take much time to get to the top, and for that you get to see some of the most epic views in the park. There's some off trails that you can go to kind of walk around the mountain. I even seen a couple of people at the bottom when I was looking at the view from the top. We didn't do all that, that's something for another day, but it's definitely other trails and other places you can go off trail. There's a couple of displays you can look at. We even seen a zebra-tailed lizard up there. So this place was definitely cool, and for only 10-15 minutes out of your time, I wouldn't miss it. It's definitely a must stop, and that's why Zabriskie Point is number 4 on this list. Now, I didn't put this one on the list. This is just kind of a bonus one because it's really technically not in the park. But once we got there in the afternoon and we hit a couple of locations, we had booked a room at the Longstreet Inn Casino. This is about 25 miles outside of the park entrance of Death Valley. It's the Nevada state line. There's a casino, there's a restaurant, there's actually even a petting zoo with a few animals. So this is a cool spot if you just kind of, I don't know if you're RVing or camping when you go. We didn't do that. There is an RV park in the behind the hotel if you're RVing. So this is just a good spot if you're staying somewhere right outside the park. There's other things for the kids to do. This is kind of occupied their time with the petting zoo, and if you into casinos, there's a couple of slots. So this is just a bonus one right here. This is where we stayed, and like I said, we got up early the next morning, and it only took us about 20 minutes to get back to the park to where we were trying to get to. So this one right here is definitely a must stop if you're staying somewhere outside of Death Valley close by. Alright, top of the AM, we're getting ready to check out this Longstreet Hotel and Casino. Decided to stop by the petting zoo real quick. It's been a pretty cool night, well stay. Overall, a pretty good place to stay, no complaints from me. We're about to head back to Death Valley, and we got a couple more stops to make before we head to Long Pine. Early, about to get ready to leave the Longstreet Inn and Casino out here in Nevada off the state line. Just put some gas in, check out the petting zoo, filling the tank back up, about to head out. Coming in at number 3 is Dante's View. Dante's View is located at the top of the Black Mountains at 5,470 feet up. The good thing about Dante's View is you get tall and wide angles of both extremes in the park, with the Badwater Basin at 282 feet below sea level, and with the telescope peak at 11,049 feet above, all in a single glance. And if you're lucky, when you're looking down at Badwater Basin, you can see people looking like ants walking the salt flats. We didn't have much time here, so we kind of just took the view. We didn't do any hikes. There's a couple of side hikes you can do along the Black Mountains to kind of see different angles. We just kind of took our view and read the displays, and we had a lot of things to do and got up out of there. So number 3 is Dante's View. Coming in at number 2 is Badwater Basin and the Salt Flats. Now when you pull up in the parking lot, the first thing you can do is see the sea level sign. It just gives you a perspective of how low you are below sea level. And then you make your way to the Badwater Basin. Get to see the stream of Badwater. And it didn't have a sign, so I can't tell you exactly how far it was, but I would say it's at least about a half mile before you start seeing these salt flat shapes. It's pretty crowded, so I would try to get there early. We tried the first day. It was the afternoon and there was absolutely no parking. So we decided to come back on day number 2 before we left, and we were locked up to get some parking. So it does get crowded. This is like the destination everybody's trying to see. But it doesn't take too long, not too much out of the day. Definitely a good stop, well worth it, and that's why Badwater Basin and the Salt Flats are number 2 on this list.
On our way to the Salt Flats. Hopefully Cameron makes it there.
Way back, checked out the Salt Flats, didn't go all, we went to the end, but we could have went further, but I mean, at some point you gotta turn around because you just keep going miles and miles. So on the way back, you can't see the sea level sign anymore. It's too far. I have no clue where it's at, but it's somewhere up there. Starting to heat up a little bit, but not Death Valley heat up. It's supposed to be 90 today. That's not bad for Death Valley, but it's still pretty, when you're walking, it still get pretty warm. Number 1 on this list is the Artist Drive Scenic Loop. The first thing you're going to notice before you hit the loop is a pull out on the side with about a 1/4 mile hike. We pulled over just to see what it was about. It was just a little hike to the top, get to see some good angles of the mountains and a different color on it. So after that, we got back in the car and proceeded on the loop. It's approximately 9 miles long, so it's not too bad. And the whole time you're just looking at these amazing colors on this mountain range. This was probably one of the most chill and mellow things we did in the park. So that's why Artist Drive is number 1 on this list. that does it for this video. Death Valley, 7 things to do within 24 hours. We're on our way to Lone Pine to finish up our trip. Death Valley, we will be returning. It's definitely had a vibe to it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video out like this. I want y'all to remember to love life, cherish life, and I'll see y'all in Lone Pine. Peace.